Hey, it's Frank here with 4D Honeybee, and I'm checking my gangbuster hive today. It's the hive that I've got going with 3 supers on it right now, 3 honey supers, because it has done amazingly all year long and last year. I've never fed this hive. I've treated it for mites, but it's the hive that has been really well mannered and really produced well, and that's the hive that gave me my offspring, which I took home, which I call the baby buster hive. So all I want to do, I put a new super in the middle of it, a new honey super in the middle of it about, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 weeks ago now, but I just want to see the progress. I want to start gauging when I'm going to do my next honey harvest, which I hope would be in the next couple of weeks. So that's the reason for this inspection. I'm going to wear gloves because I've got a softball game later today, and just in case I get stung, I don't want to have swollen fingers. I also am getting into my nasty hive later on today. I'll do that under a separate video. So for that one, I'm going to be well prepared. You see, I got the smoker going. So thanks for joining me on 4D Honeybee. Okay, so we'll see what's going on under the lid here before I smoke them. I expect there to be lots of bees up here. Yeah, enough that they've got that lid glued right down. So let's see what happens here. Wow, you can really hear them right off the bat. There they are. Now there should be no queen up here because of the queen excluder, but I'd like to take a look anyway. No queen. I'll leave this down here because I'll probably need to stack up the honey supers on here. I am going to give them a little bit of smoke. Just a judgment call that you've got to make every time. Now they look plenty calm, all right, but I might have to go deep into this hive. So that's it for now. Let's see how they do with just that amount of smoke. Wow. Let's see, they've built comb right up to the top of the box here, which is not unusual. I don't mind it. This bird comb bugs a lot of people, but it doesn't bug me much. I do remove it most of the time unless I don't have time or don't make time for it. But one thing I'm going to experiment with, probably on my next hive, or maybe a next split that I do, is I'm going to experiment with a non-solid cover, an inner lid. I'm just going to do like a sheet of either a linoleum or this bubble wrap that I've seen done by other people. So far, first look here, I'll give you the same look that I get. It's a phenomenal. Now I did expect this top box to be filled in and probably capped, because that was a box that I extracted maybe 3 weeks ago and then returned right back to the hive, and they love that. They just go after those boxes like crazy. So let's see, I can clearly see that this one is capped, this one is capped, this one is capped on the inside but not the outside, so I might take this one out and flip it around. This is capped. I'm going to pull a couple out at random. I'm going to pull out this outside one and maybe an inside one and just see. I might switch them around so that they'll finish filling out this one. This outside one looks pretty good as well. So let's start with this outside one. I've never had to work this high either. Like, this is at my face level. And you know, this is the highest I've ever had a hive as far as the number of supers on it. So that's a different experience for me. Let's try and go slow and not rip up the honey. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Not the most even frame. You see it's got hollows here and bees inside there. It's kind of neat, actually. They got their own little caves all over here. Look at that. Can you see that? Caves in here and in there, coming in and out. Kind of weird, but whatever. And this side is completely undrawn. And again, probably because it's on the very, very outside. So I'm going to set this down, and I will end up switching this frame up for a frame in the middle just to make sure they do completely draw it out. But to have a look at this next frame here, this is an absolute thing of beauty. It's so far away, it's difficult to get to. Okay, take a look at this one. Now, I only put 9 frames in my boxes. Ugh. Hoping for this very reason. See how thick it is drawn out beyond the edges of the frame? That's exactly what I'm hoping for. Both sides completely 100% capped with all natural wildflower honey. That is a thing of beauty. Wow. Okay. So the next one I can see is completely drawn out. I'm going to set this frame up right in the spot where I want it to go so that they can still get around it, but I'll know the other frame will fit in there nicely. Capped, this side is also quite nicely capped. This one is capped. Oops. Capped on both sides. Capped on both sides, so just looking for a spot to drop in that other frame. The only one-sided capped frame right now, because these frames all look really good. These are nice and calm. There's one bee buzzing around, but it's not really coming at me. Yeah, all these frames are ready to harvest. The thing is that I'm not ready to harvest yet. I've spent a lot of my time dealing with these bees, dealing with queenless bees and swarmed hives, and because of that, I haven't been able to prepare for a honey harvest, which is just fine. This honey's not going to go anywhere. And it may be better for me to wait to the end of the season here and do it all at once. Here's another end frame. Again, this is the closest there is to not being completely capped. You see, it's about, what, 50% capped, maybe 60. This side, however, is pretty good. So I'm going to move, let's see, what am I going to do? I'm going to move this one over as well. I'm going to move this one to the end and this one beside it. And plop one of those frames in here. The frame that I just pulled out. That's a pretty good spot for this. It's funny because they've got a little bit of bridge comb built in between the frames. I can tell the exact position of the previous frame, or the exact position of where they were. Alright, so this one goes here now. And I'll bring this one over. And the next one will go right in here. Might have to move the frames a little further this way. For it to fit. That should be okay. Okay, let's see if that fits right there. Oh no, it's not going to fit because this one is so wide on this end. Look at how wide it is here. See that? They've kind of built it out. Let's see what we can do here. Nope, I need a little more space or I'm going to ruin a lot of comb and squish a lot of bees. Okay, so let's move everything over just a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. There's good bee space all in between there. Let's grab this guy now. What I could have probably done is just kept it on the end and just turned it around. That probably would have worked too. Okay, so that's it. I'm not going to touch this box anymore. I'm going to get into the next box. Now the next box was completely undrawn. I believe 3 weeks ago was when I brought it in. So this is the one that's going to be really interesting to see. Have they come up and built it out, filled it up with honey, or not? Hope they have. And it's hard to lift this thing up again because you're working so high. And it's not light either. Well, that's gotta be about 35. It's probably the whole, with the box and everything, it's pushing 40 pounds. Okay, so not too much production going here. If you have a look at it, it looks like they've built up these frames, and you can see lots of bees on here. And then these frames are still pretty, well, they're just getting built out. Have a look. See those first frames? See lots of bees on them, lots of comb being built. And you get over here and it gets much more sparse. The last 3 frames where there's no build out at all. And again, no big problem with that because these were brand new frames 3 weeks ago. So they'll get around to it. I think what I may do is I'm going to take this box off, look at the next box, and I might put this box below. I'll maybe make this box sort of the first one above the brood box. Now I'm expecting there would be many more bees in this next super because it's going to be much more filled out. So I'm going to smoke them a little. They're pretty calm, eh? Conditions have just turned, well, I wouldn't say they're overcast, but it's about a 50-50 broken layer of clouds here. It's a gorgeous day. And these are generally well-behaved bees anyway. I just want to keep it that way. Wow. Look at this box. Holy smokes. Okay, similar situation where they've built up a lot over here, but not built up as much over here. So what I'll do when I do put the boxes in, I'll change their orientation a little bit. I don't know that that's going to make a difference, but here, I think that's a better view for you, right? So look, these first few frames, again on the left side of the box, are filled right out and on their way to being capped. On the right side of the box, there's not as much of a buildup. See that? You can see a lot of exposed comb here. See that? And there too, and there, and there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still have a lot of building out to do on this one. So I think all I'm going to do, I'm not going to swap the boxes because they're both more or less in the same boat. I'm going to replace the box that I just took off, but reverse the orientation and see if that makes a difference. And you know, this hive is still doing amazingly. It's got loads of bees. It's been quite a while since I've gone down into the brood boxes and looked at the queen production, but the last time I did, there was absolutely no swarm sign, and I pulled out 2 or 3 frames to give the queen lots of new stuff to build on. So that's it for this inspection. I hope you enjoyed it with 4D Honeybee.